The lowest of my lows. Xanax, 28 milligrams. Yo, what's going on? And welcome to the third report for Thanksgiving, the follow-up to today's first report. This report is coming from Evan. The drug used was alprazolam at a dose of 28 milligrams. The route of administration was orally through 2 milligram Xanax bars. The gender, male. Prior experience, at this point, a lot of prior Xanax use, along with alcohol use and smoking cannabis. And where this happened, on his way home from his plug's house. So this experience report definitely does highlight the adverse effects that you'll get from benzo withdrawals and just benzo addiction in general. And it's pretty dark, pretty terrible. This also serves as a warning to be careful with your drug use, because if you do end up on this path, it's not a pretty one. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. Before I start this, I cannot stress enough not to replicate anything I have done. It is deadly not only to yourself, but to your loved ones. I should also caution before I start the story, due to the fact that this story includes one of my friends who is no longer alive. He passed away in a shooting. I will call him Logan. At this point, my Xanax addiction was getting out of hand. I was with a girl who was a junkie, and I had nobody telling me what I was doing wrong. I simply did not care about death or any consequences during this time period. My depression had made me feel hopeless, and I had unwavering attacks of panic. I was on about an 8 milligram diet per day of Xanax when my girlfriend stepped out on me. This left me feeling hopeless, and it leads into the story. 3 p.m. I woke up, normally during the p.m. hours because of my excessive Xanax use and alcohol abuse. This time, it was different. I was heartbroken and sad, and I only had 1.5 bars left. If you know, that's only 3 milligrams. I popped the 3 milligrams when I woke up. 4:30 p.m. Oh no, 3 milligrams isn't enough. My body begins to tremble, and I begin to feel horrifying withdrawal of benzos. I sat huddled by myself. My roommate later came in with me as I told him what was about to happen. 5:20. I started to seize up in 5 to 10 minute intervals. I would have grand mal seizures, blood coming out of my mouth from biting my tongue, voiding myself and foaming at the mouth. There was no way I was going to the hospital, as I had way too many fears about getting arrested. The paranoia that comes with benzo withdrawal is truly horrific. About 6 p.m., after I had finished vomiting, my tongue was white from the biting I had done, and my muscles felt like I had just finished a marathon, but I was composed and my seizures had stopped. I was in so much physical pain that I decided to walk over to Logan's and pick up some Xanax ASAP. 7:15. I walked down the street while smoking a blunt, as it usually calms my muscles down. Anyways, I get to Logan's house, and he's got 14 greenstone Hulk bars. I was so depressed and in pain, I decided on the way back from his house, I would generously swallow 14 2 milligram Xanax bars. 7:30. Only about 10 minutes after taking the bars, I have a weird thing where Xanax hits me super fast. That's probably due to my body weight. I'm not sure. Anyways, I do not remember the second half of the walk home. 7:45. Everything I'll say at this point is from the viewpoint of others because I was full blackout zone. I wandered the streets apparently, and a couple of my friends picked me up. I slept in their back seat and vomited as they were taking really good care of me. I'm so thankful I had some real friends back in those days. 8:15 p.m. I arrive at my friend's house, and she said I knocked over her lamp and busted it. Not only that, I wandered into her bathtub and indented her drywall with my head from falling so hard. Several pieces of her drywall were busted by my literal ignorance of anything. 1.5 days later. I wake up in my own apartment and nicely in my bed. I have no clue what happened. The last thing I had remembered was walking home from Logan's. My roommate said I spent the entire night and next day snoring and sleeping on the floor. He said I would get up and speak utter nonsense. My words didn't even make sense because my slur was so bad. I had been picked up and carried by my friend who took me back home. I noted I had scrapes and blood all over my ankles that I still have to this day. Apparently, also, I talked to a police officer, according to my friend, and my head was throbbing, my muscles still killed, and my tongue had a bite in it, so I couldn't eat solid food for 2 more weeks. This was the most dangerous, ignorant, painful experience I've ever had. Do not mess with benzodiazepines for fun. I now have a lasting seizure disorder and involuntary muscle problems resulting in the withdrawal.